Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's late. We've just had the evening service and we stayed around in the church a little bit longer, and I wanted to test something out tonight. I wonder if you'll even notice what we're doing. We're trying something new. I'm not going to say any more than that. So before we get into the meat of tonight's video, I of course want to say thank you, and the organ's on, sorry. And this time I'm saying thank you for last week's video. We finally posted our Toccata and Fugue in D minor. When did we post it? Last Monday, I think. And the resonance was very positive, so thank you very much for that. And quite a few people sort of wrote comments or sent me emails asking how we did it. That you liked the fact we had a camera here pointing down at the keys so you could see what was going on, and from the side and the pedals and things like that. It was all very good. And how long did it take us to sort of paste all that together? How many takes did we have? How many cuts and things did we have in our filming? Well, the simple answer is not many. I am by no means an expert at cutting film, even on computers these days, and the whole thing was done in 3 takes altogether. One cut had to be made because, well, it was a very windy, stormy evening when we recorded it in the church, and we had to stop because it felt like trees were falling down on the church or something. The whole church was rattling around, so that was quite worrying. So that disturbed the recording, so we had to wait for that. A second cut had to be made because the bench I was sitting on, when I turned to, I don't know, probably to do my pedal solo or something, when I turned, the organ bench made a funny squeaking sound, and we thought it was something with the organ, until we discovered that it was something with the bench, and then we could, we didn't know what to do. But we managed to secure the bench with a bit of wood or some, I don't know, something anyway, and it stopped squeaking, so then we could carry on. And then the third cut had to be made when somebody wandered into the church to see what was going on, banging doors behind him all the time. So yeah, that was rather worrying. The whole thing was planned to be recorded. We had 3 cameras, so the whole thing was planned to be recorded in one, and then pasted all together. So the microphones were doing the audio recording and the cameras were doing the video, obviously, and then we would cut it all or paste it all together, as it were. But theoretically the audio was supposed to be in 1 take. That was the plan, and that also explains why it's not completely free of little mistakes and things like that. When you play a piece of music like that, you can of course spend hours and basically recording every bar individually until it's absolutely perfect, ironing out every single mistake and things like that. I personally don't think that's very human. It's always very human to make some mistakes when you're playing things like that, and especially when it's a recording situation. I don't know what it's like for other performers out there, but I much prefer playing live in front of an audience, but sort of an audience of real people, and then I'm much more relaxed and I can play much easier, I find. When I've got an audience of 2, in other words, my missus with the camera, and in that case Ralph was sitting over there sort of watching what we were doing with the organ and things like that. So an audience of 2 is much more nerve-wracking for me than an audience of 2,000, for example. So yeah, that's weird, but that's the way it is. So there you are. That answers how we did our Toccata and Fugue last week. So now that our Toccata and Fugue has been recorded and been posted and been admired and loved by you, my wonderful viewers, what's next? Well, don't forget, it's recording season. Not a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, I told you about the crowdfunding site that I'd started, crowdfunding project that I'd started to get the funds together to produce a new recording. And that's almost over. And if I check my mobile phone, it tells me that we have, well, by the time this goes live, there will be about 24 hours of crowdfunding left. And you still have a chance to order or pre-order a CD over that crowdfunding project, and that's startnext.com/Gartshaw. It's down there probably. That's the plan, and as I say, that runs for another day, so midnight on Sunday, as it were, of this week. And yeah, you still have a chance to order a CD using that project page. If, however, you still want one of the other extras, the thank yous that are on those page, on the project page. So there's a signed CD, there's a CD with a copy of a score for a piece of music on the CD, and there's the option of the recording together with scores for everything on the recording. That's sort of the luxury set, as it were. They're all officially sold out via the Start Next project page, but I'll let you into a little secret. If you use my PayPal link that's down there, you can still buy those things extra, okay? But don't tell the people at Start Next. It's already sold out. But yeah, if you want to do that, then, for example, a signed CD would be 25 bucks. So you could, go to PayPal, set it to euros, put in 25 euros, and then in the comments say, I would like a signed CD, please. Boom. And that's the end of that. So until midnight on Sunday, you have the opportunity to do that. Why do you want to do that? Why not wait till the CDs are ready? Well, they'll probably be slightly more expensive by then, because by the time they're shipped around the world, now I don't know what it costs, but sending a physical CD through the post to, let's say, somewhere in the United States, where a lot of you come from, that's probably going to cost quite a lot. But that's going to be my problem, because on the crowdfunding page, I said you buy a CD in advance, including international postage. Haha. So once the CDs are ready, and I reckon by the time the recording's done, I'll tell you that in a minute, it'll be the price of the CD plus international postage, so a bit more. Anyway, yeah, how long is this going to take? Well, tomorrow evening, or by the time this goes online, it's, by Sunday evening the project is over. And then by the time the money is transferred to my account, it'll probably take a week or two, or maybe more. But I have it on good authority that we can get the recording done anyway. It can be paid for later, which is good. It means we can save some time. So by the time the recording has done, all the sort of copyright stuff has been cleared. It's been sent off to the CD productions, and so on and so on and so on. I reckon by mid-November everything will be back. I'll have everything back and ready to be sent off. So by the end of November, all the CDs will have been sent, I hope. That's the plan anyway. And you will definitely have your new recording in time for Christmas. But don't forget, it won't just be a physical CD that you can order. There will, of course, be the chance to order an online distributed version of it. So iTunes, Amazon Music, that kind of thing, yeah? So don't worry. For the digital people, there will be something there as well. A lot of people have been, of course, asking what is going to be on the CD. Well, on the Start Next project page, it tells you. But the idea is, I'll just tell you here again, the idea is I'm going to include a sort of, it's going to be a CD of, sort of improvisations, yes, and also compositions, but the idea is it's all going to be sort of jazzy, because some of the stuff we do here is very popular, and that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be a recording of Widor and Bach Staccato and Fugue in D minor, because that's been done by millions before. So it's going to be a CD of the kind of stuff the other kind of stuff we do here on the channel. So there'll be a bit of ragtime music and how ragtime developed into sort of jazzy music, okay? So all beautifully arranged for the organ, of course. And then there will be some of the improvisations I've already featured on the channel. They have been transcribed. And they will be presented again, which is rather nice, actually. A lot of people were very positive about that, so thank you. And yeah, so there's going to be a bit of ragtime, a bit of jazz, a bit of improvisation, some own compositions, and so on and so on and so on. And the whole thing will sort of have a theme running through it, how this kind of music works on an organ. Yeah, and again, tonight, I want to show you a little bit of what's going on in the background there, and I'm going to give you some hints and little tricks actually of how you can play this kind of music and, well, cheat basically. So while I'm preparing for my CD, there are different little sort of tricky things I'm coming across. For example, if I'm playing a piece of ragtime music, we all know The Entertainer or the Maple Leaf Rag by Scott Joplin, that kind of thing. And those are piano pieces, yeah? And they're written very deliberately for piano. So the left hand jumps up and down and the right hand has got its sort of ragged melody, that kind of thing. When you're at an organ, of course, you've got more possibilities, a lot more possibilities. And something I want to show you tonight is something I've been sort of working on, maybe for the CD, but it's something I like doing a lot. And theatre organ people out there will start laughing because they will recognize this instantly, but other people might not. Let me just play you something. This is sort of based on something I heard by the Duke Ellington band way back from the 20s or 30s or something. But anyway, if you recognize it, let me know what it's called, the piece of music. But it's just a sort of a feature, a sort of dialogue in the bass and the left hand. But watch what my left hand's doing. It's doing two things at once. And so on and so on and so on. So what exactly am I doing there? Well, I don't know if you heard, there's a melody. Yeah, and that's kind of going with the bass as well. Yeah, but at the same time, there's... Yeah, at the same time there's chords going on there as well. And I'm doing that with one hand. Okay, so I'm really holding down one note and at the same time, or just afterwards, playing that chord. Yeah? Now that's quite difficult. You've got to practice something like that a lot. Why don't I just use my other hand? Why don't I just do... Surely that's easier. Well, like I told you, I'm basing this on something like I heard from Duke Ellington. So what the right hand is then free to do is to play the sort of the melody there. So I can sort of... I can play big fat chords and be a sort of a saxophone section, if you like. Not bad. So when you're playing this kind of music on an organ, you have all sorts of different possibilities, yeah? And that's just one little thing you can do that a piano player can't really do without maybe cheating or having, you know, huge hands to stretch that kind of thing, and lots of pedal work to hold those things in. But this way, you know, you can do it cleanly on an organ, and it sounds rather effective. Now, why did I say theatre organists would start laughing? Well, this is a feature that's actually on pretty much all theatre organs, and it's called second touch. And what it means is, let me get rid of some of that. You press a key, and it makes a normal sound, yeah? And when you press the key, you come to a sort of point where the key doesn't go any further. You come down to the key bed, yeah? So, and on certain manuals of certain cinema organs, there's a second level, so the second spring, as it were. So there's the spring to there, and then there's a second spring, so you push harder, and a second spring is activated, or a second spring holds the note, and you activate a second touch, as it were, and that can control a whole different sort of range of registrations and stops, so you get that effect. So it would be like, if I coupled it, it would be like, let me say it. Yeah, so it would be like I'm playing this manual for the melody, and only this manual is playing the chords. Does that make sense? If I could couple this manual to second touch, then that would sound. Yeah? Then you would have the melody with the heavier stops. That's the plan. It's called second touch. It's a wonderful thing, and I don't know why it hasn't made its way into sort of modern church organs, because it would be a wonderful effect to have. We are going to be visiting an organ builder sometime soon, and I will be putting that question to him because I know he loves theatre organs. So yeah, maybe we'll get round to that at some point. Now, if there's anyone out there who knows some European theatre organs that are easy to get your hands on them, for God's sake, please let me know. Because imagine I could sit at a real theatre organ and show you how that really worked. I would love that, and I think you would enjoy it too. All right, that was trick number 1. Let's look at something else. Time for another trick. And this is something I'm going to show you that's actually a bit of a cheat that jazz piano players use rather a lot, and they don't like to tell you about it because it sounds amazing, it looks really cool, but it's actually very simple. So we'll get round to that in a minute. Now, a couple of weeks ago when we were playing in Weidenhahn, a village over there, I played a piece of music and I had some thirds in one hand. Remember? Something like that. And people sort of said, wow, how do you do that? What kind of technique is that? Thirds. When you're learning to play a keyboard instrument, you play scales. And it's very boring and it's very dull, and your mum shouts at you to practice your scales. Thankfully, my mum didn't shout at me to practice my scales. And I didn't really practice my scales when I was younger. I only sort of realized later how important it is. And scales and of course arpeggios. Now the whole point of that is it's so that your fingers, or at least the muscles in your fingers, learn the positions of the keys in relation to one another in certain keys. Does this make sense so far? Yeah? So if I'm playing in E flat major, my keys know what position, my fingers, know what position they should be in on what keys at what time, so that you can play and don't look. Okay, that's the plan. Now, I'm going to show you, that's not very jazzy, of course, is it? But I'm going to show you sort of a jazzy scale, as it were, that's really rather easy to play, and you only need 3 fingers. Theoretically, you only need 1 finger if you play it in G flat. Okay, it's a pentatonic scale. Okay, whoops, ow, that actually hurts if you don't do it properly, and I've actually managed to cut my finger already. Good. These keys are very sharp, I just noticed that. Anyway. F sharp is very sharp, ha ha ha. Okay, anyway, if I play this pentatonic scale, a lot of people will recognize that from sort of Asian style music. It's a sort of standard Asian scale, as it were, in a lot of that music there, okay? But it is, of course, in Western music as well. A lot of people would say, it's the black keys on a piano. That's that. Well, if we sort of take the notes out of a major scale, what notes are they? Let's take it to E flat. It's easier to listen. Okay, that's the same thing. We have the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 steps of a major scale. What does that mean? Well, if I split up a major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, or 1 again, if I'm going on. So if I take the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, that's my pentatonic scale. Now, I just said something about 3 fingers. Well, you can play a pentatonic scale, certain pentatonic scales on a piano or an organ or a keyboard instrument, using only 3 fingers. Watch this. That sounds pretty cool, and it looks kind of cool as well, doesn't it? And it's actually very simple. 3 fingers. And it works in a few keys at the same time. It works in A flat major. It works in B flat major. And it works in others like D and A and E and things like that. Okay, it works well where the hands have to sort of cross over, or the fingers cross over each other. Now, let me do that again slowly so you can see what I'm doing. I'm splitting the keyboard up. Remember we did this when I talked about scales a few weeks ago. There's a 3 note and a 4 note bit. And your fingers know what they're doing, yeah? Well, it's the same thing here. We have a 3, well, the fingers I'm using are 3, 1. So there's my 3, 1 part, and then I have a 3, 2, 1 part. Okay, so if I do that in time, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll do it again slowly. 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2. And if you want to stay down there, I can use my left hand to come up the way. This is really rather simple. 3, 2, 1. 3, 1. So I can use my left hand to go up and my right hand to go down. Cheating a little bit there, I don't know if you noticed that. I've been doing this for years, so I'm not thinking of what I'm doing, yeah? But keep it simple. 3, 1, 3, 2, 1. And in the left hand, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Practice that slowly. And then get faster. And suddenly you've got something kind of jazzy sounding that you can impress your friends with. Not bad. Okay, so there's 2 little tricks for you to practice yourselves. I could go on and show you some other things, but sorry for the bad language, it's bloody freezing in the church tonight. It's beginning of October, and I don't think they've sort of programmed the heating to go on yet. It's absolutely Baltic here in the church tonight. So I'm going to close up with a piece of music based on what we just did at the beginning, and a bit of these runny things as well to show you how to sort of put them in context. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks. Don't forget to keep subscribing and liking and commenting and all those sorts of things. You can continue to support the channel, by the way. All the links are down there. I've already mentioned the PayPal link. There's also Steady and Patreon for sort of memberships and things. So yeah, it's all very, very gratefully received. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be back out and about visiting new organs. That's rather exciting. We haven't done that for a couple of weeks. And I will, of course, keep you posted on all things relating to the new recording. So thanks for watching. That's enough for tonight. Yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.